So, welcome everybody to this Drooms webinar that we're running here today. With me, I have Kristina Kochowska, who is our product manager for the web shop. I'm Petter Malde, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Product and Engineering at Drooms. And today, we're very happy to have you guys with us because we're going to have a discussion and talk a little bit about our web shop, which is something which I think Drooms is one of the few in the industry who has a web shop for virtual data rooms. And we've built this to help out small to medium-sized companies or companies who want to set up their own virtual data room without needing additional help or support for preparing the data room setup or inviting users and just generally managing the data room. So for those of you who aren't entirely sure what is a virtual data room, just a quick recap for you there. A virtual data room is a way for you to store and share your most confidential documents and to help to support you during, for example, a due diligence process, whether it's in a transaction or you're evaluating a company for an investment, for example. And the difference between a virtual data room and cloud file storage solutions like Box or Dropbox is that there's an increased focus on security. And basically, where in Dropbox and Box, you're synchronizing documents across multiple locations, a virtual data room is like a locked box in the cloud where all the documents are stored in one place and you're inviting in other users to come in and take part and view those documents, but with very specific and strict control on permissions, what they're allowed to see, what they're allowed to do in the data room. And also, crucially, there's also a very detailed level of reporting, which provides a complete audit trail of what actually happened inside the data room and who saw what and what was disclosed to the various parties that were invited into the data room. So without further ado, I'm going to move over into the web shop so we can talk a little bit about what that is and what kind of features and things you can do inside the web shop. So I'm just going to share my screen here and jump over to the web shop. So Kristina is going to talk a little bit more about this later in terms of the various offerings that we have at Drooms. There's also a comparison there showing the various features that are available either as standard or as upgrades to the data room. And starting off with what do you actually get when you go into the web shop and you buy a Drooms data room? Well, when we initially started out, we had all of the features were actually add-ons to the basic data room, but we wanted to add more value to the product. And so as we developed more features and added them to the online version of our product, we decided to include a number of features. And for the four features, the main features that you're getting when you're buying the pro version of the data room is branding, which is a way for you to personalize the data room a bit and to upload a custom logo and also a background image to your data room as it appears in the interface for the customers. There's also notes and highlights, which is a way for you to highlight text and parts of documents as you're working on them, perhaps during a due diligence process as a lawyer. You can also then write up your notes as you're going through and reviewing all of the documents inside the data room. The data room has a number of features for confidentiality. Obviously, the documents stay inside the data room, but there's also the possibility of having watermarks displayed over all the pages while the invited users are reviewing the documents. That's another specific feature to data rooms. And perhaps crucially, the most important feature that I'd like to talk about is the full text document search. So when you're uploading documents into an online data room, what we do here at Drooms is that we process those documents and we run optical character recognition on those documents. That means that if you have a PDF document which has been scanned, which a lot of documents are, given that today we're still not at the point of having digital signatures. So any document which is electronically generated is generally printed and then signed by the parties, and then it's scanned and uploaded again as a final version of the document. This, of course, means that you can't search inside that document on your file server, whether you're in Windows or Mac environment, doesn't matter, because the text is locked inside of an image, which is on each page of the PDF. So what we do is we run optical character recognition, and that means that you can then fully search all documents, all text inside the entire contents of the data room. And that's very useful during a due diligence process because, for example, if you had a checklist as a lawyer doing due diligence, you need to find a number of items, risks, opportunities, pieces of text such as change of control clauses. Now, regardless where that text may be contained or where that document may be located inside the data room, running the full text search across the whole data room means that you will find it. And that is, I think, a significant benefit of having a virtual data room with this kind of full text document search. Another thing which is very important for our solution and virtual data rooms in general is security. So we are an ISO 27001 certified company, and we store all of our data and documents on European servers, which are falling under the European GDPR for data protection. So we are compliant with everything as needed for a European company. On top of that, we've also given the possibility of adding two-factor authentication when logging into the data room. That means that in order to log in, you would receive a SMS code, which would then be entered in and verify and authenticate you as a user logging into the application. So those are the things that are included in the data room. Now, you can also customize the data room with a number of features which can then be added to your data room. And one of the most popular ones is the questions and answers module. And this is something which is a workflow tool to help bidders and sellers communicate with each other, as an example, and that all of the questions which are then posed by the bidding party are sent over, distributed to the selling party, who can then have various roles and set up quite complex workflows, actually, with multiple distributors of those questions coming in. You can have answer teams and specialists who are then answering these questions, and then you can have multiple levels of approval for the deal manager who's overseeing the transaction on behalf of the seller. There's also roles such as, we call it the guest role, but it's kind of the C-level role where the higher level executives can take a look at what's happening inside the whole workflow and process, but they can't really get in and mess with anything in the process, but they have full oversight of what's going on. And this is something which we have a very user-friendly interface where you drag and drop and create your workflow so that it suits your requirements. And we have customers who have done this to the point where zooming out, it almost looks like a graphic image, because the process is so large and complex, and yet managing it is quite doable with this interface. And we have lots of good feedback from customers on this feature, managing that all by themselves. Additionally, of course, you can buy a data room while you're preparing it and upgrade it with additional user space should you need it, or also with users, so that you can expand the number of people invited into the data room. This is very simple and easy to use by logging into your web shop account. Christina will show you more about that later. Another feature that we're really proud of is actually our document translation. So we've built a document translation feature which is based on Google technology. Now, most people are familiar with Google's implementation of translation. I mean, that means that you're uploading or pasting in text into the Google interface, and then they magically transform one language into another. Now, being that we're very focused on security, in order to offer such a solution, we've actually taken and built our own document translation feature, which never leaves our environment, meaning that all of your documentation stays inside the data room and the protected environment, and you still have the ability to translate from English to German, French, Italian, and Spanish, and back to English. And this is all done page by page as you're reading the document in the viewer in real time, which is a pretty cool technology. And we've actually spent quite a lot of time developing this because we really believe that it's a valuable use case when we have cross-border transactions in Europe, and you have perhaps buyers from different countries taking part and who are not maybe comfortable with English as their first language. Then they can translate the document and they can look at it and get a better understanding for themselves using this tool. And we're adding more languages as we go along. We even have a prototype for English and Arabic, which is very interesting to see it working. Okay, another feature that we have is index allocation, and this is something which helps out in the preparation of a data room. So usually teams working on preparing material for a data room will prepare an index, and then they will source all of the documents and number them and put them together. And this index allocation feature allows you to upload the index, and then you can batch upload all the documents, which are then allocated based on the numbering in the index and the file names that have been prepared outside of the data room. So it kind of helps teams that are working on this in preparation of using a data room. It gives them the ability to really execute their work and create the data room very quickly once the time comes to prepare the data room itself. Another feature you can add is we call it advanced permissions. It's really a workflow tool where you can set multiple levels of permissions for adding content to the data room. So you have full editing rights, of course, which is close to admin permissions, but only with respect to the content itself, and adding, removing, and editing content. Then you have add only, which allows users to upload and add content to the data room, but not to delete anything. And then the third level, which is there as well, which is I think the one which is most used, is add with approval. So this is when the admin of a data room would then assign tasks to multiple teams, and they would then source the documents, upload those documents to the data room, but they would not be visible to the users inside the data room until the admin had actually gone through and approved each edition, either individually or by batch. And this is something which can then be used to help to organize the teams as they're preparing the documentation to go into the data room. Okay, those are a couple of features which you can add to the data room today. We're working on a number of features to add to the web shop as upgradable features in the future, but that's something that we'll talk a bit more about in the future. For now, I'm going to hand back over to Christina so that she can show you exactly how the web shop works, how simple and easy it is for you to get set up and get going with your own data room project, and go through the various features and pages of the web shop account once you created one and logged in. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and it's over to you, Christina.
Thank you, Peter, and hello everyone from my side too. As Peter mentioned, since you already provide very nice explanation of all the different features that are part and can be part of our data room purchase via the shop, I will go into more details about the purchasable products, about the different flows in the web shop, different checkout flows, depending if you are purchasing a data room or we are adding on to existing data room, and as well as briefly guide you to the different functionalities in the web shop and in which different ways you can customize your data room and your subscription. So I'm gonna share my screen now and go back to the online shop. So as you already saw, we have one table here which explains the three different products we offer. From the web shop, you can get the free and the pro data room, and for the custom data room, you would need to contact one of our sales representatives. So free and pro data room are do it yourself. You're not tied to any kind of contract. The subscription is, of course, on a monthly base at any time, can be started or stopped. So as you can see here, we have the free and pro data room. Free, as the name says, is basically a free trial where you can test all of the features that are available for purchase in the web shop. In that way, you can have a better idea what kind of features you need, how many users you need, and similar. So the free trial is 30 days, after which, if you like the product, or during which, if you like the product, you can upgrade to Pro Data Room. What does it mean? That means that the Pro Data Room would cost 12.9 euros per user per month, and the minimum number of user licenses that need to be bought are 10. Each user license purchased also brings additional gigabytes. One user license equals to 300 megabytes. So they cannot be bought separately, but they're tied together. In the Pro Data Room, we have the notes and highlights, branding, search, and two-factor authentication given as part of this price, because we consider these a basic and very important features. Everything else, Q&A, translations, index allocation, advanced permissions, are purchasable, and they cost 5 euros per user per month. Big difference between the webshop data rooms, free pro and custom, is that for the pro data room, for the free data room, we have 24/7 online tech support. We are very proud of our operations team here. Normally, every kind of issues and question is resolved very quickly. For the custom data room, you would have 24/7 phone support and responsible account manager. But today I'm going to focus more on this free and pro data room. Before I start showing you some flows, how to get free and pro data room, how to upgrade and similar, I just want to quickly let you know that at any time we offer the web shop as well as our product in different languages. You can also change at any time the currency in the interface, so you would see the amount of money this data room costs, for example, in dollars. But once you enter the country, and especially the payment method, then the currency set according to it. All right, so one of the very common use cases and flows in the web shop, especially if you're a new customer, is that naturally you would like to try the free data room. And that is very easy to be done. You only click on try for free. If you're not authenticated user, if you're already registered, you can also do it from inside the shop. But if you're a new user, we just need very basic information: first name, last name, email, password, company name, and country. And you click on free trial and you get the free trial. For the purposes of saving some time, and everyone knows how to fill a form, we have more interesting things to show. I already did that. So let's assume that that I click now on try for free. What I'm going to see is I'm inside of the shop, and I will be able to see the free data room on my account page immediately. Free trial expiring in 30 days, since I did it today. The free data room, you will always be notified here how much more you have from the free trial. And at any time you can upgrade to Pro as well. Also 4 weeks after the free trial has ended, so you don't have any more access to the data room, you can still upgrade to Pro. So if you upgrade the free data room to Pro, of course that you will have all the data, all the flows that you have set in the data room as well is in your upgraded room. So let's go and try actually this how this upgrade from free to pro data room goes. So already in the cart, as a minimum is 129 euros because the minimum user license is 10 multiplied by 12.9 euros is 129. Me as a user during my free trial was very happy with the Q&A feature, let's say, and I already set some flows there. I want to keep it in my data room so I can add it. As you can see here, we have 4 purchasable features because, as I said, 4 features are already given as part of this Pro Data Room. And I would also like to add a couple of more user licenses. As you can see now, we really try to be very clear with the pricing and the overview of what is purchased, so there are not confusions. So this is the basic data room. The user licenses for 5 additional users would cost 64.5 euros. Then the price for questions and answers feature multiplied by number of users would give the total amount of money. That's all that I need at the moment, and I decide to proceed to checkout. And as you can see, only at the moment I actually want to purchase something, I'm asked for more details, like more company details and the payment method. We don't ask for any payment information when you're booking a free trial room, because that's genuinely only for you to get to know to the product. It's not trying to trick anyone into subscription. So already some of the information I provided, like company, country, industry. This doesn't need to be now very correct because we're just testing. Join function, I'm a counter in this case. VAT number needs to be given. I'm now giving just a testing number because we're working in testing environment, so I'm not using real credit card. But this would be exactly how it will look in the live environment. Phone is optional, I don't need to provide it. We go at payment method step. I have option to pay for now with card and PayPal. I will pay it with a credit card now. Billing address can be different or the same as company address. In my case, it is the same. And that's it. We continue to the next step. I will be presented now with a 3D security challenge. This is a new law in Europe for every purchase with credit card, just a new security layer. And we assume I have received now the code. That's how it will happen in life, as you probably know, from my bank, to make sure it's me and it's a safe transaction. And that is it. We are done. We are the last confirm and pay step, where I can still change company address, edit payment method, or edit the order. But I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. This is what I need, and I want to finish the transaction. Again, I am asked for this challenge. The reason for this is because I might fill the payment method but not finish the purchase at the same time. So just in case the bank asks twice on the way of entering, at the moment of entering the payment method and at the moment of payment. And that is it. I should now be able to see my data room on the account page. As you can see, we really try to provide as much information as possible for this data room. You can see how many user licenses you have, how many are left, how many gigabytes are all in all available, how many of them are left, which features I have, when is the next bill, and the amount. So we are always charging at the same day. Since today is 30th of June, the next bill will be 30th of July, and this doesn't change for any particular data room. I can also immediately access the data room. This button will direct us to our browser version of Drooms. I can change the name of this data room since this is already a working project. I will name it Frankfurt. And I can as well at any time cancel the data room. This is how flexible we are, just with one click. If I decide at any point that I want to end up the subscription starting next billing month, I can do it. I will still be using until the end of my current billing month since this is paid in advance. I can reactivate also with one click because I don't need to do any additional purchase here. I think this is important to mention. If we don't reactivate the data room until the next billing day, that would be 30th of July in my case, then we close the data room. That means none of your users can enter the data room. However, still in the upcoming 4 weeks after the closure, you can reactivate the data room and then pay pro rata until for the days left until the next billing day. If you don't do that, we then permanently delete the data and the data room. Before I proceed to showing you actually how you can customize your current data room, I want to show you the settings page, and that is the page where you can at any time change your personal and company details, except the email, because that's our main mean of authenticating the users. You can at any time change password or add another payment method. In this case, I decided that I want to continue paying with PayPal, and I can easily change the payment method by adding, in this case, PayPal as a payment method. Save. So I can have more than one saved payment methods. I can add as many as I want and change among them. So still my credit card is default. That's very important. The default one is always used for the recurring subscription payments, as well as for the any add-ons and one-time purchases. I want to use my now PayPal as my default payment method. Now go on account page. I decided that I would need a couple of more users and space in my data room. And I can add users from the account page by clicking on Customize Users. I can as well reduce the number of users. So I had 15, I can reduce it to the amount of 10. And then you can see how much from the next month the price will be reduced if I remove, in this case, 5 users. Yeah, very straightforward. How much is the latest bill? How much is the next bill? And of course, now we don't need to pay anything. But I had 15 users and I would like to add 4 more. And again, I can see in details here how this will affect my monthly payment and how much I need to pay now. Subtotal for 30 days. Since I got the data room today, it's 30 days. If I have been doing this add-on, let's say in 20 days, then I would only need to pay for 10 days pro rata payment until the next billing day. You can also customize features from here. If you need any additional feature, I will also add the document translation feature, since it's a very useful feature, especially if you work with the internationals and a mix of different language groups in your team. Then I just need to click to proceed to checkout. But one more thing I want to show you, if at any time, for any reason, you add items in the cart but you don't finish the purchase, next time you log in, this will be saved. And as well, you can always find in your cart page a little bit more different view here than you had when adding on to your existing data room on account page, similar as when you're purchasing new data room. You can as well manage your users and and features from here. I will proceed to checkout, and I don't need anymore to pass all of these details and payment method steps because I did it once and that's enough, except if I don't need to make any change here. I can even at this step change the default payment method, but I don't want to do it now, and I want to proceed with PayPal. And that's it. You can always see here the status of your payment, if it's successful or if it failed for any reason. We will provide every time we can, and as many details we can, the reason for failure. You would also receive an email so you know what is happening here. But we were successful now, and as you can see immediately, I have 19 user licenses, and I have the document translation feature as well added here in the data room. What I will show you now briefly is what else this shop is useful for. On the shop tab, the same we saw as if you are not a logged in user. You can again remind yourself of the different features, and you can also initiate purchase from here. What I forgot to show you is that in one checkout flow, for example, if you're upgrading the free room or adding on, you can as well at any time add additional data room or items to the cart in one checkout flow. On the download page, you can see all the means of accessing our product. The highly popular Access browser version where you don't need any downloads, or if you want to download the product, then we have application for Windows, Macs, as well as newly updated iOS application. We already talked about the account page. We already talked about the settings page, so the billing page is left. The billing page shows you the billing history, which you can download as an Excel file or have an overview here directly, how much you have paid. You can download the PDF invoice. You also receive it from the via email, but you can as well approach it from here. Also, if your payment failed for any reason, there will be here, instead of status successful, you will see the failed status and an option to retry the payment by yourself. And that would be actually it from my side. I think I covered the most important things regarding our online shop. I won't go in more details here, but please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. Me or Peter are here to answer them. And before we proceed to this part of the presentation, I would like to share some good news with you, everyone that attended the webinar today. After this, we'll receive an email with discount code for us, applicable for users and features, and you will learn more about it later. Thank you very much for listening to us. I hope that this was useful for you. And yes, please share your questions, if any.
Okay, so I see we got one question here. Can I still upgrade my free room when my free trial already ended? So, Christina.
Yes, as I mentioned, you can do that, but of course there is a time limited period when you can do it. When the 4 weeks after the free trial has ended, you can still see this tile on the account page, and you can still upgrade your data room. But after 4 weeks has passed, after the free trial has ended, then it's not possible anymore to retrieve the data room. As we promise safety, if you don't see initiative, we erase the data. Same as for Pro Data Room, if it's cancelled or unpaid for a long period of time. We try to communicate with our free trial users, and we try to always remind them of these deadlines. So just because somebody forgot, we don't lose the data room and the data there.
All right. Another question. I think people are wondering when it comes to upgrading the free room. So, will my data uploaded to the free room be transferred to the paid room when I'm upgrading?
Yes, and that's the point actually of upgrading the free room if you need a pro data room instead of purchasing another one. If you already have the free data room, but please know that not every feature is transferred to the pro data room. So, for example, if you set a Q&A flow, and if you don't purchase this feature for your pro data room, then the feature and all the data on the questions and answers will be gone. But everything else, all the documents, every settings you have done in your free data room will stay there without any changes.
Okay. Well, what happens then if someone actually forgot that their free trial ended and they still want to upgrade? So can they still upgrade their free room when the free trial already ended?
Yes, 4 weeks after the free trial has ended, they can do it. After that, it's not possible anymore. We have one question as well. What is the maximum number of user licenses? Yeah, sorry, I didn't mention that part. In one checkout flow, you can add up to 100 user licenses. You can purchase up to 100, but in general, it's not limited. Only the number that you can do at once. We will sure find a way for 200 as well. Okay, I don't see additional questions. We'll give you a couple of more minutes. In case, also feel free anytime, also after the webinar, if you come up with any kind of question, to send it per email. We will be happy to answer. On our website, we have a big section for frequently asked questions for the web shop, which also can be used in case you have any dilemmas about the product or any flow in the shop.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or need help, then there's always email support, and the customer support team will do their very best to help you out with your issue or answer any questions that you might have about the product.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I think that's it for today. Thank you everyone for your time and attending. It was really nice to have you with us. Look forward to you joining us for future webinars on other topics. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.
Bye-bye.